So we finished out how to set up the general modules we have seen, and now we will be starting the finance part. So the finance part, we will start from the VAT modules. Okay, how to make the invoicing and how to record the purchase bills, credit notes and debit note, and from there we will move on to the flow of finance.
Sure. You always need the chart.
Let's continue with this. So first we'll start with the VAT modules. So VAT modules will have the important register. The four important registers are there, like sales, purchases, credit note and debit note. This four combines together will give you a VAT return filing, right? So based on that, the system is designed like this. So VAT sales modules, credit notes, purchase registers and debit note. So all these four registers are available in here, and VAT return filing form and sales reporting and pro forma invoices and all these things are listed out here. Let's go to see how the invoice is being made. Before that, you see there is pop-up is coming. I can snooze it, so I don't want to do it now. Maybe I can snooze it for a later time, or I can just click OK. It will be gone out from my list here. So now in the VAT modules, we are going to talk about the sales register. If you see this, these buttons will open up a particular screen or register from there. When I click on it, it will open up for me. Actually, I want to reset this layout. Now, when I open up, it will show me all the invoices which I made in the period of 1st of August to 31st of August will be listed out here. If I see the screen looks like an Excel sheet, something like that. So if you see the data is presented in such a way, the rows and columns are there, and it will be reflecting like a data and the component of this that will be available in there. So let's say 11 invoices are done. We have around 357,000 worth of turnover which is done in that time period, something like that. And now here, this is the data, and this is the information what you can change or print or search about it. So the functionalities available in there. So if I go down, if you see here, I can go down by scrolling down. I can see number of 147 invoices is up to 147 invoices being made in there. If I go and want to see the previous period or something like that, I can change the time period from here by changing the date, or you can directly go and edit it, and you can click on show records. It gives a time period, which time period you wanted, or you can click on this drop down button where you can use today, yesterday, quarter, by this week, by this month, or this day, this year, anything you can choose from there. Let's say I want to see the third quarter of it, so it gives me July to September, all the invoices which is done in there, 13 invoices being done, something like that. So I'm going to take it for today. Today I didn't make any invoices, so let's start with the invoicing part. I'm going to sample out. I want to show you one sample invoice. We will make it, and from there we will learn how this one goes and reflects in our book of accounts, and we will talk about the chart of accounts and cost centers, everything we will talk about. Okay, let's say I want to create a new invoice. Okay, so here if you see this screen, I think most of you already know about this screen, but for the new users I will explain again. If you go in the right corner, you will find the creation of invoices. So I can click on add a new invoice, and I click on it. The next available invoice will be picked up from the system. I have 147, now 148th invoice I'm going to make it. So here the clients list. So the clients list is nothing but the sundry debtors, the bills receivables account from our chart of accounts will be listed out here. So all the clients which is added in my receivables, as well as our cash account and bank account will also be registered in here. Sometimes I have cash sales. I can have the maybe point of sale, this swipe card they are using. No? So you can use directly to the bank account. So let's say I want to create one. If I don't find a client, okay, say let's say I have Titan in here. So when I choose it, automatically the Arabic part will be chosen from there. If I don't have them in the list, I can also add it by clicking on this plus button. So as I told you earlier, plus button will help you to maintain the list out there. So when I click on add, now what is it creating? It is creating a accounting ledger in your chart of accounts. Okay, under the chart of accounts we have already specified the chart of accounts sundry debtors. Okay, sundry debtors is nothing but receivables or the clients. Okay, so I can create a new ledger under my chart of accounts sundry debtors. Okay, so let's say we can say any company name.
PP code.
PP code. Okay, public.
Projects Pioneer.
Okay, projects. Projects. Pioneer. Company. Limited. So I just write that company name in there. I can use the translation tool, or I can directly type in this. So I'm going to use this tool so I can translate this. Right now my there is no internet. Okay, I'm just going to use the translation tool. When I click on this translation tool, it gives me the translation of what I typed in there. Sometimes the company name might be a little bit different from what is available in there. You can check their CR or birth certificate, make sure that you have corrected it. Once you change it in this, it will be available in the masters. And next time when I use Pioneer's company, so automatically it takes the corrected one will be taken in there. So this is account head name. The account head name might be different from the billing address sometimes. So we can billing name. Say for example Sabik. I say Sabik Jubail. I'll say Sabik Aramco Jubail, Aramco Yanbu. There's two different same company but two different branches are there. So I keep the receivables and I deal with them separately. This division in Riyadh Aramco they are dealing separately. In Jubail Aramco we are dealing separately. So you can have two different accounts, but the billing name will be same. So Saudi Basic Industries Company Limited, something like that. So you can have billing name, different billing name, but we'll have the ledger name can be separated also. So let's say client billing address, maybe you can say over. That too I can translate from here. Just click on this, and VAT number, I can specify the VAT number, and billing contact person, contact number, vendor number. Sometimes they give the vendor number also, you can add it in there. And most important thing is the bank account for receiving payment. You can choose this one, which will be available whenever I choose Projects Pioneer. It will be chosen for that particular bank account. So I might have different bank accounts. Let's say I have four bank accounts. So whenever I want to Pioneers, they have Saudi British bank account. So I have already Saudi British bank. So I can give that Saudi British bank account. The transfers will be faster than transferring to some other bank account. So let's say I want to make it Riyadh Bank. So I can get whenever I provide the details of Riyadh Bank account for this company. So I can save this one. Now the Projects Pioneer ledger has been created in your chart of accounts automatically. So you don't, if you don't want your sales team to prepare this one, you can also generate the debtors account or the client account and then give it to them. Okay, so it depends on what access they have. So now let's say Projects Pioneer, I have created this one, and the invoice date and supply date. Invoice date, we know when we are generating this invoice. Supply date, this is most important date because nowadays Zakah is paying this one. So you need to not aging for the supply made, when the services is made or the supply is being done for the materials. So they are monitoring this one. There is a rule now, within 14 days you have to bill if you make a supply delivery date or something like that. And if you are providing the services within that time period, you have to invoice for the VAT. Okay, so this date, two dates are important. You can keep it both dates same or don't make it more than 14 days. It's according to that. And if you are preparing a sales order from the system, it will be listed out here. So tomorrow you can monitor, I got a sales order for 1 million riyal. I already made an invoice for 500,000. So what is the balance and how much we have to balance? You can control it. You can see it from here.
See how much we used already, how much we invoiced and what's balance.
Yes, you can see it from here. You can see on the sales order, the client PO.
Showing retention and everything here or not?
Not retention, only the invoice value only.
No, PO. For example, we are making PO.
So now this PO, how much been invoiced? Invoice retention is value after the invoice. Value you are reducing after the invoice. Yes. Okay. So now let's say I'm just generating the PO directly here. Say let's say I have the PO this one, and the contract number or PO number, PR number, anything you can specify in there. Let's say this is for a let's say Jubail Oil Refinery, something like that. So I just give a project's reference number or name, something like that. Quotation number, delivery note, ACS reference number. You can add it as these are all self-explanatory in there. And we can also go to other details like if I click on other details, the invoice due date. So now this invoice, if I'm generating on 30 August, so based on that, the system will generate 30 days from the due date. Where from it's taking that 30 days? So it is taking from the client. So if I go and check this client, if I want to edit this client Pioneer one, I can click on this edit button. So here in the settings, there is number of days credit for them. I can set up 45 days or 60 days like this. So from that, it will take this due date. Sometimes you might have different due dates, sometimes based on the invoice date, or sometimes you will have based on the invoice submission date. Suppose today I submit the invoice, after 10 days, the due date should be calculated. That also we will see how it will be done. Okay, now here effective date. Effective date is like what is the actual transaction happened for which period. Say for example, this invoice I'm generating in the month of August, but actually this revenue was generated for the month of July. Okay, in July invoice I'm making it in August, something like that, or in September. So I can specify this belongs to 31st of July. So tomorrow I can, in the system, I can check a different report. I can take what is the revenue for the month of July only. I can track this one because say for example, you have an electricity bill coming to you or to your office. Okay, electricity for the month of July, it will be coming to you on August. Okay, so when I am recording it, I will say the effective date of this particular bill is 30 July. So it will be recorded in there, and tomorrow I want to see how much electricity bill for the month of July. So I can take 2 times. So we'll find the reportings for that. Now next thing we'll see about the revenue account. Revenue account is okay. Now next thing we'll see about the revenue account. This is the sales accounts in the chart of accounts. So you have to choose which revenue this amount will go for. Say for example, it is from equipment rental revenue or sales of equipments, projects, trading, manpower, any other things, or revenue from transportation, revenue from selling of materials or clinical services, something like that. This is also coming from the chart of accounts. Okay, as a group of sales groups will be showing here. So let's say I'm going to have this one for equipment rental services, something like that. And when this invoice starts, suppose if you are doing service invoicing, so this invoice is starting for the month of July, so it will start from 1st of July to 31st of July. This revenue invoice date and period will be there. And cost centers is which project it has to go in. So we are going to talk about this in later time. Okay. Next thing is the invoice notes. You can set up some notes on the invoices, like in case of discrepancy, this invoice we are notified, something like that. You can set a default also. So whenever I make an invoice, it will be coming automatically, or you can change this one and you can set a new record and set it as default. So whenever I make an invoice, that term or that some notes will be coming to you. So this is how you set up that. Okay. Now next thing we'll see about the currency and other values. So sometimes I want to make an invoice in different currency. I can use that one also, like US dollars, euro, something like that. I can choose automatically, it takes that particular. But in our books, only Saudi Riyal will be recorded. Okay, this is for printing purposes and recording purposes only. And next thing is like advances or any retention money you have. You can specify that one also there. So the retention amount you can specify, as you told. We will be saying one sample also. Okay, and let's say advance amount and retention amount, you can enter that one also. And branch and division details. Sometimes you might have 2 different branches or 2 different sections. They are using different divisions. They are using this, and they can have different maybe letterhead also, seals also. So you can have different concepts. So I can use from which division it has been invoiced for. So tomorrow you can take a report based on which divisions taken this revenue. And payment terms, division, and other things like sales and coordinators. Let's say this sale is done by a particular person, situation. And now the invoice is done in 30 of August, right? But I want to say, for example, it will be after my signatures, everything, after 5 days only I will be submitting it to the client. So I am expecting, let's say 5th of September, I'm going to submit this one. So I can choose that when this invoice being submitted. Okay, I can set it, and also who is submitting the invoice. Let's say Mr. Ali. So he is going to submit the invoice. This is for recording purposes only. Okay.
It is for recording only, not for aging.
No, I'm going to show you now. So submitted on. If I say I want to use my due date based on submission date. So if I click this one, now my aging will be calculated based on this. So 30 days from the date of submission. So I can use submitted date or invoice date. So if you leave it as it blank, it will take the invoice date as your due date, 30 days from there. If you say 5th of September will be the submission date, so my aging will be starting from that particular point of date. Clear? So next thing we will talk about the signatories and all, and after creating the invoice we will talk about it. So let's create the invoice right now. And I did the invoice number and selected the client name and all the other aspects I have selected. Now I can add the line items. So what type of services you are providing, or what type of materials or inventory you are providing, you can go on, click on add new item. When I click on add new item, it will add up a new line for you, and you can choose the list of services and also your goods available in here. Let's say I am selling materials, or I sell laptops, or I can have my services. Let's say I have equipment rental services, or project support services, or project services, something like that. So I'm going to show it, say for example, equipment rental services for the project. When I choose on, automatically it takes the unit rate and other things. I can go and change the time period also. Let's say I want to bill it by hourly rate. I can just go on hourly, and I'm going to say, let's say 280 hours going to be billed for, and let's say 90 real per hour I'm going to charge for them. So when I say the equipment being run for them for 90 hours, 90 real per hour for 280 hours, something like that. And additional, once I say this one, you will see the VAT will be calculated for 15%. If you are still, your contract is before 11 May, so you can make it 5%. And if you want that, you can choose from the list available in here. You have 5% standard rates also, you can take it from there. Right now, we will leave it as 15% as it is. Now, the total invoice for without VAT is 25,000 plus VAT 3,000. Total will be 28,000 something. Okay, so I can go and print preview this invoice. I finish up the invoice. If I want to additional line item, I can go and add a new line item and add the additional services like transportation charges, that one, this one, anything, you can add it in there. I'm going to print preview this invoice. I have 4 formats of invoice. Let's go and print preview the first invoice format. This is actually service type of invoice where you will have this. The invoice will be in both English and Arabic, and service type. Okay. So now we have done this invoice for 28,000. If you see down, you will have all the components what we have entered will be available in the invoice. You will see the prepared by, checked by, and approved by. I can also fill this information by going to the signatories. You will see who is preparing this invoice and who is checking this one, and also the approved by status of this one also I can enter in there. And in this option I can use print invoice in letterhead. When I click on it, I can also print the invoice in the letterhead. Where we scan this invoice, you see there it's in the company information. Okay, so I can use this invoice and their names will be appearing in there. I can take a printout and give it to my management, get the signature done. Or if you have the access to give them with the signature, you can go and show the signature, also show the company seal. You can give them the option to do this one. You can go and print review the invoice right now. It will give me the invoice and seal, everything ready with you. Okay, right now this invoice is ready and I can export it to a PDF file or an Excel file or a Word file, whatever format you want. I can export it by going to export option, print PDF, all these options will be there. Sometimes the invoice might be going to second page or it is going to expand it. Okay, say for example, lot of item, but I want to fix in one single page. I can use this scaling option. Okay, you can go to scale, you can scale it to say for example 95%. When I say, it will try to shrink the content of that invoice and it will give you in a in more space for you to add it in there. It'll go from the top, it will just shrink and it will fix it there. So it will be coming handy when you are having a lengthy invoices. Clear? So right now I'm going to save this one and close it. Right, I add the invoice right now. Already the invoice status is not processed, so means that I'm preparing the invoice, it is not yet been completed. So if I want to continue, maybe I want to add few more line items and I want to correct anything, I can continue it and send it to them. So now my the team, my next manager or the reviewer can verify this invoice, okay, by clicking on the verification button. So if I'm going to verify this one, so if I'm preparing, I will not give access to anyone who can verify or approve. So right now I am the one using it, so I'm showing all this thing. So this invoice right now is set as verified. So after the verification, you can give the access to them to print this one and send it to the client or something like that. So after the verification is done, I print this invoice and send it to the client, who is the client, Pioneer, Projects Pioneer Company Limited. And if I come here, the client might be accepting it by stamped and then they will sign and send it to you. So I can give on approve for this invoice. So when I click on approve, this invoice is locked for editing. There is no more editing is allowed in this particular invoice. So right now the status of this invoice is approved. Until this point, this doesn't goes to the book of accounts, to your finance records. It's not moved in there. So this amount, whatever, until approval, everything is done, until it is posted to the book of accounts, it will be staying here in the register only. But this will be available for your VAT filing. VAT filing, this record will be taken in. Sometimes you wait for the invoices, but still you have to submit the VAT because your invoice date is this.
It might change.
Pardon?
It might change.
Yeah, but
invoice might change. How it will take VAT without approval?
Today I already approved this one. Right now the invoice is made, approved by the client, and everything is fine. I'm going to post it to the book of accounts. So let's go and post to the ledgers. So when I click on post to the accounting ledgers, the invoice will be posted into the book of accounts right now. So now the status is now changed to posted, means that it is reflecting in your books as well as in the VAT returns. So here I close this one. Okay, now I have done the sales voucher. Okay, it has been posted to the book of accounts right now. Okay. Let's go to the book of accounts. When I go to the finance reports, okay, I'm going to see the GL or the accounting ledger. We call it as accounting ledger. Right now, what ledgers it has reflected to this company called Pioneer Sales. So I can go and check for Pioneer Sales or Projects Pioneer Company Limited. So for which time period, you can choose the time period for the August. So I click on show records. It shows me the complete GL transactions of this particular time period for Projects Pioneer, 28,980 Real being invoiced for this. So if I want to open this one, I can click on open the voucher. It will show me the journal entry pass for this one. So if it is a sales, yeah, it's generated.
The VAT automatic.
Yes, it separates the VAT automatically. So I didn't enter anything manually, so it gives the JV for you automatically. So let's say Projects Pioneer 28,918. So here income from equipment rental, we have gone 25,000 something like that, and then VAT on sales, it goes to 3,780. This is already been posted into the book of accounts. The voucher is created and it has been done there. So here you can go and save and close, and this invoices is available for you to process. Okay, now one moment.